9:45.
Okay, it's going. Huh?
And just so you know the time.
Oh, great. Thank you, dear.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you got
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah, okay.
Okay.
So I'm recording now.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Kat. I have a special treat for you today.
You do, a special treat.
Yeah. So I have a friend. His name's John, the shaman. And I met John, when I met you, God, like 3 years ago? When I was diagnosed with cancer.
Yep.
And I was having like a horrible time in my life. And John came in and helped me with everything. So he taught me how to breathe again. Like I was afraid of dying. And actually that's why I called him, to see if he could help me with my fears. I was afraid of everything, and for sure I was gonna die. So I thought, you know, if I'm gonna die, I just want to like figure out how to die happy.
Yeah, yes,
And,
yes, that's the way you should be.
That's kind of what I want to talk about today, because he really helped me. And then I started coming more alive, and I was like,
You've come alive.
I know. And then I kind of want to talk about so he has a really cool, like, shamans don't believe, they believe in death differently than we do. So I'm gonna let him kind of talk about, it's helped me a lot. And then also, since I've met you, you're also so special to me. And Tammy and I, you know, we worry about losing you. So I want him to help all of us, like how we cannot be afraid of death, and like, you know, when death does happen, because it is gonna happen one day for all of us, like how we can move on, and like you lost your wife, but like how they're to teach us like the energy's always around, so we don't like suffer with grief our whole life. Because I'm the kind of person, like I lost my dad and my grandpa when I was little, so I never had that love from a man. And so I think some weird crazy way, like you were brought to me to teach me about self-love, and it's just a weird kind of love. I can't explain it. And same with Tammy, you know, like you've really helped both of us. And so I just want to like have this on film for the rest of my life.
Good.
And do you want to say anything? Otherwise, he's gonna talk. But if you want to say anything,
Don't want to say a
Chip
thing.
in when.
because you're a teacher, you're intuitive, you're a shaman too.
Well, it's a pleasure that both of them came into my life. You know, I really didn't necessarily want a caregiver or something like that, but David thought I should have somebody, and he picked Tammy, and couldn't have picked a better one.
Yeah.
And then I started doing exercise and met Emily, and continued on, and I've had nothing but blessings from both of them.
And when our first class we had, he told me, do you remember telling me this? You said, I don't want to wake up tomorrow. Sometimes I just don't want to wake up.
Yeah.
He wanted to give up. And I felt that way too when I was unhappy in life. I had everything I could have wanted. I had a husband, 3 kids, the White House, but something in me just, I wasn't happy, and I didn't know like what was missing. Like I never knew myself. So unfortunately it took me getting cancer and
To
it was
bring
like
it around.
to my big wake-up call. And I know everyone has something in their life that happens. So like I want to use this time today for us to share with our friends, like, you know, when life gets hard and something happens, that you should never give up, because like, you know, I hit rock bottom, and he saw me. I was ready. I was like, I'm done. Just give me the morphine button and I'm ready to go. But you know, I found people like you guys all, and people show up at certain times to keep you going. And now I look back 3 years ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I only had these people in my life, I would have never experienced this. So for me, I really want to help, especially young girls, especially young women who struggle. Because I never had a voice. I was too afraid to talk. Like, how can we help them? Like, this is normal. This is all part of life. It's going to happen, right? Sometime. But how do we get through it? And when we do lose someone, not for a long time, but like Ken or my dad or his wife, like how do we call upon the spirits to like be there for us?
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
maybe you can explain to everyone
Yeah.
what you think about death and all that fun
Yeah.
stuff.
So shamans, there's like three concepts at play here with death, and I was remembering the you even had that party where you invited all of your friends to just like celebrate the end of your life, basically, right?
Yeah.
And the tricky thing was, being the shaman that I still have the video on my YouTube channel of the thing we did,
Yeah.
because I did this ceremony that to shamans actually clears away the death that stalks you. So shamans don't see death as the way Westerners do, where it's like something, an accident, a disease, you know, something takes your body and you're dead. Shamans see it more from the soul level, and they see that death is something that takes your soul little by little till you're maybe more dead than alive, but your body's still here, you know. And so it's more like clearing that death so you can be claimed by life fully, right? And so that's what we did, and it sort of shifted everything. As far as, you know, when somebody dies that we love, and we miss their physical form, again, from the level of the soul, the thing that makes the person is still there even after their physical body's gone.
Sure.
And so you essentially have kind of access to that part, their spirit, right? Their consciousness. You can still talk to it. Sometimes they can give you signs, you know, little butterflies or something like that, or something interesting, a song. So you can still kind of engage with that person's consciousness. But maybe even more importantly is that what anybody represents to us is an experience. So Ken, you had an experience of your wife, right? This woman for, you know, decades,
71
right?
years.
71 years, right? And it was a wonderful set of experiences,
It
of
was.
friendship and love and all the fun you had together, right?
And troubles.
Right? All of it. Well, theater has to have pain too. It can't be all pleasure. So it's all good, but you know, right? And then she, you know, she died, right? I think it was what, cancer was it as well?
Cancer.
Yeah. You know, but so that was it. You thought that's it. What she represented in your life as the experience of all of those things, the friendship, the love, the fun, the painful things. You thought it was over. You thought that's it. How could I ever have that again? She's gone. But what shamans recognize is that the experiences can come to you in all kinds of different forms. So it's not just limited to that one person. So something leaves you. It could be a house. It could be someone you love. Any sort of loss or death of something sort of physically represented in your life does not mean that what the experience that was giving you is gone. And then now you could say, look, the experiences you're having with these two, right, are kind of similar to the ones you had with your wife, right? And so that's just the proof, right? In other words, you're showing us that if you don't give up, if you just choose to wait for the universe to deliver the same experiences in perhaps some other form, it will, you know, but so it's not completely over.
For me, like, I feel like I never had, like, no one ever taught me, love, or I think it's a feeling. I never had, like, a connection. Love can be in all forms, like a friendship.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be physical, right? But
Right.
I feel like I have a special love with Ken. I have a special love with Tammy. Like, we both have, like, I don't know how to explain it.
See,
You have that too?
Yeah.
I do.
Like,
yes.
we're best friends, and I can't explain it.
See, isn't that neat?
but
Because
I
you thought you weren't going to ever have that experience, right?
Never.
So that was when you hadn't even had yet, and you
Right.
were almost ready to leave.
So do you think that's Ken's here to teach me a lesson?
Just no, it's just to show. Well, in a way, yes, but to show you like there's always opportunities for new experiences in life. It's never completely over. You know what I mean? Like, even though you lived and you survived your cancer, right? And your book and everything, cancer saved my life. It's like there's
But
always,
I almost gave up though.
right.
I was that close.
That's the thing, right? But
You're not the type to give up.
Huh?
You're not
Right,
the type.
that's true.
Yeah,
You're
but
not
you
the
didn't
type to give
know.
up.
You didn't know me
Inner
3
strength.
years ago.
Yeah.
Huh?
Inner strength.
That's what it is.
But what was it? What was that like? My calling, like
Life wants to live.
But I had no friends. Like everyone gave up on me, and
Right.
and I just was like, I can't do this anymore. And then just I fought for my kids, and I fought because I knew, like, no matter what people said about me and judged me and criticized me, like I knew like I was a good person inside.
Yes.
So I was just, I don't think I ever knew who I was. Does that sound weird?
So you
I was
learned,
like faking my like.
Right.
I didn't really, right? No, it's true.
You learned who you were, and
It took me 42 years to figure it out, but
and you learned that life will always bring you surprises. It will always bring something new. You can count on that. Otherwise, we would have stopped doing this 200,000 years ago because we would have seen everything.
Right.
We've all lived a life of 80 years. We've seen everything. Why come back? Well, because there's always something new, right? Always a new experience available. Always new possibilities, right? That we can never even know. Even yourself, 90 years old, right? And you're thinking,
no,
"Oh,
94.
94, okay, well, you only look 90. You look,
I'm saying 60.
I was going to say,
60.
you don't look a
Feeling
day over,
70
you don't
maybe.
look a day over 60.
But like,
But
how do
you
some
see what
people,
I'm
like,
saying?
I fear death, or I did.
Mm.
Not so much now that I had cancer, but do you fear death? Yeah, we all do.
It's normal
I did that in '84. I had a triple bypass,
Oh, wow.
and I did think I was going to come out of it. You know, my father and mother died both of heart attacks, so I had an MRI, and it showed something was doing it. So I decided to do it before I would have a heart attack.
Sure.
But I still said to my son and to my daughter, I don't know if I'm going to come out of this. So I had really, in some way, given up,
Yeah, amazing.
but I'm still here.
Life wants to live.
Right.
And that's the thing. And if you make it through those experiences, you can be sure that new life experiences will find you. That it is worth it. It's worth living.
It is worth living.
That's the bottom line. No matter how hard it seems, it's always worth
Living.
living. Yeah, if you can, right? If you can make it. I mean,
The pain, the suffering.
Right.
And I think we'll get through it.
yeah. And survivalists know that the key to surviving, like if they're stuck out in the woods or some strange situation, that 10% is knowing how to rub sticks together, 90% is wanting to live.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So a person who's trying to survive, if they don't have that will, if they don't want to live, then that's going to be the death that stalks them more than the bugs and the and the animals and the.
So you want to live, right?
Oh, well, sure, I want to live.
Me too.
And the key to wanting to live is what I'm trying to say, is recognizing that there's things that your mind doesn't know and can never know is possible, that the universe will deliver, that makes it worth living.
So you
Just
just
like-
have to trust?
You have to trust. You have to trust and have faith. You just have to know that if I live, I'm sure there will be something that comes about that I'm glad I did. And you know, that's
Keeps
what I was
you
saying.
going,
And
keeps you alive, right?
94, or at 84 even, you thought, well, I'm not sure this is it. But it's like,
That's true.
but now you've got,
I've got
who
this
wouldn't
one.
want to live?
Now we're going to get to 100.
Exactly.
So I'm inspired. I'm inspired to write. I've had someone today wrote in and they said, "You have to write a book about Ken. It's going to be a bestseller." So I thought, "Oh my gosh, let's do it. We need to write a book." But and she titled it like about living life like to the fullest or something. So I'm thinking like, you know, what's the lesson that we can teach people and all of us? Like, are you really living like today? Like, do you wake up every day and live your life to the
Gratitude.
fullest? Do you live? Are you even living the life that you want? Like, are you just stuck in a life because you think you have to be there? So, what would you say? I'm just curious because we're going to write some chapters. So, what would you say to people? You know, honestly, like, if you're not happy living, sometimes maybe it's better off if you weren't alive, you know, because you're already miserable, like you were already dead. So you have to make
If-
the choice.
If I was that way, I would want to go. you
Me
know.
too.
But I'm not that way. I'm always looking for the future. You know, it's always there.
You always see the brighter side.
Always see the brighter side. And the most important thing is when you lay down on bed,